You hit 40 and something weird happens in your brain. You start doing this dark, unspoken math. You look at your aging parents, you look at their paid-off house, that suburban brick box they bought for like $80,000 in 1993 that is somehow miraculously worth $1.2 million today. And then you look at your own bank account. It is grim. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It is the forbidden middle-class arithmetic. You catch yourself thinking, well, if I just keep my head above water for another 15 years, eventually they will pass away and I can finally pay off my mortgage. I can finally breathe. Most people think the great wealth transfer is just waiting it out. You wait for nature to take its course, you sell the family home, you split the cash evenly with your siblings, and boom, your retirement is funded. You are saved. But the math proves that is a fairy tale, because the math proves it is actually a trap designed to completely wipe your family's net worth off the map. I mean, look, I am Heisenbank, and I've sat across the table from enough trust fund kids and enough broke 50-year-olds to see the exact moment the timeline splits. It happens right around age 40. Today, we are stripping the paint off this entire system, and I'm going to show you why waiting for an inheritance guarantees you will die broke. I'll show you the exact tax loopholes the ultra-wealthy use to pass down millions entirely tax-free, while the middle class gets gutted by the medical system. And I'm going to give you the exact uncomfortable conversation you need to have with your parents by this weekend. Because if you don't, the government gets the house, not you. Let's start with the big, ugly elephant in the room, the absolute second best point I can make today, which is the Medicaid wipeout. Most people think they're in line for a massive inheritance. They're not. They're in line for a front row seat to state-sponsored wealth confiscation. Let's say your parents did everything right. They have $600,000 in total assets, a nice house, a decent little nest egg. You are banking on that cash to save your own retirement. And then one of them gets sick. Dementia, Parkinson's, a stroke. Whatever it is awful, and suddenly they need round-the-clock care in an assisted living facility. Do you know what decent memory care costs right now? It is about $9,000 a month per person. That's $108,000 a year completely out of pocket, because Medicare, the program they paid into their whole lives, does not pay for long-term custodial care. It only pays for short-term rehab. So what happens next? Your parents burn through their cash savings. Gone. Then they start liquidating their index funds. Gone. When they are completely broke, dead flat broke on paper, Medicaid finally steps in to cover the nursing home bills. And you think, okay, well, at least they still have the house. Wrong. Medicaid is not a charity, it is a loan. When your parents pass away, the state triggers something called Medicaid Estate Recovery. They put a massive lien on that childhood home. They force the sale, and they take back every single dime they spent on your parents' care over the last 5 or 10 years. Your inheritance? Gone. Evaporated into the healthcare machine. The middle class gets wiped out like this every single day, generation after generation. Meanwhile, the rich keep their compounds. They keep their mansions. How? Irrevocable trusts. They strip the legal ownership of the assets away from the parents 5 or 10 years before they ever get sick. They put the house and the money into a trust. They make the parents look legally impoverished on paper, so the government pays for the nursing home, but the family still owns the estate. It is brutal, but it is the game. And if you're 40 and you don't know what a 5-year Medicaid look-back period is, you are already losing. But let's say you get lucky. Let's talk about the absolute strongest point the wealthy understand, which is the time value decay of late money. Let's say your parents stay perfectly healthy. They live to be 88 years old. They pass away peacefully in their sleep. And you are 62 years old when you finally get the check from the estate. Let's say it's a massive check, $500,000. Great, right? You won the lottery. No, you lost. Getting $500,000 at age 62 is mathematically useless for wealth creation. It is completely dead money. Because at 62, it is way too late to compound. You cannot invest that money aggressively into the market because your time horizon is too short. A market crash would ruin you. So what do? You put it in a safe, boring bond fund making 4%. Or worse, you just use it to pay off your own late-in-life medical bills. Maybe you buy a boat you were too tired to drive. The money just sits there, slowly dying to inflation. Now let's look at what the wealthy do. They don't do cold hand transfers. They do warm hand transfers. They give you the money when you were 35 or 40, when you actually have the energy and the time to leverage it. Look at the brutal math on this. If your parents give you just $100,000 at age 35 and you put it in an index fund tracking the S&P 500, getting a historical average return of around 8% a year, by the time you reach age 65, you have done absolutely nothing. You haven't added a single penny to it, but that $100,000 has snowballed into over $1 million, $1.006 million to be exact. A $100,000 gift at age 35 is mathematically worth more than double a $500,000 inheritance at age 62. The rich know this. They fund the compounding phase of their children's lives. They buy their kids the real estate early. They fund their kids' businesses early. The poor and the middle class, they hold on to the cash in a savings account until they die, out of sheer absolute fear. By the way, if you're waking up to how rigged this entire financial machine is, hit the subscribe button right now. We do not do standard financial advice here. We do the math that actually keeps your family from getting chewed up by the system. Subscribe and let's keep building. All right, let's talk about the excuse. Because right now, some of you are yelling at the screen. But Heisenbank, the gift tax. My parents can't just hand me $100,000. The IRS will take half of it. This is the most destructive myth in personal finance, and it keeps poor people poor. Listen to me very carefully. You do not pay taxes on a gift, and your parents do not pay taxes on a gift either, unless they are literally ultra-centimillionaires. Here's how the law actually works. In 2026, any individual can give up to $18,000 a year to anyone else completely tax-free without even reporting it to the IRS. If your parents are married, they can give you $36,000 a year. If you are married, your parents can give you and your spouse a combined $72,000 in a single year. No taxes, no paperwork, nothing. But wait, what if they want to give you $200,000 to buy a house? They still do not pay a dime in taxes. They just have to file a form with the IRS saying, hey, we went over the $18,000 limit this year, so please deduct the extra amount from our lifetime exemption. Do you know what the lifetime estate and gift tax exemption is right now? It is over $13 million per person, over $27 million for a married couple. Unless your parents are sitting on $27 million, they will never, ever pay a single penny in gift taxes. Ever. The government convinced the middle class to be terrified of a tax that mathematically only applies to the top 1% of the top 1%. So they hoard their money, they don't give it to you when you need it, and then they die and the nursing home takes it anyway. Genius. But what if they don't have cash? What if all their wealth is trapped in that $1.2 million house we talked about earlier? This brings us to the step-up in basis loophole. This is how you avoid blowing up your own net worth. Let's say your parents are strapped for cash, so they decide to sell that family home while they are still alive, and they just want to rent an apartment and give you the leftover money. Stop them immediately. If they bought that house for $80,000 and they sell it today for $1.2 million, they have over $1 million in capital gains. The IRS is going to show up and absolutely slaughter them with capital gains taxes. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, wiped out in a single afternoon. But if you use the rich person's playbook, you tell them to hold the house, never sell it. When they pass away and you inherit the house, the IRS code grants you a step-up in basis. That means the government legally pretends that you bought the house for $1.2 million on the day they died. If you turn around and sell it the very next week for $1.2 million, your taxable profit is zero. $0 in capital gains taxes. You just walked away with $1.2 million in pure, untaxed liquid cash. You have to understand the sequencing. You get the cash while they are alive. You inherit the highly appreciated assets when they die. If you mix that up, you pay the government $250,000 for absolutely no reason. But let's pivot. Let's look at the psychology of this, because the math is easy, but the human brain is a disaster. Why do we make such bad choices at 40? Because of the psychological rot of the waiting game. I see guys in their late 30s and early 40s making $80,000 a year. They hate their jobs. They are drowning in credit card debt, but they don't hustle. They don't start that side business. They don't cut their expenses. Why? Because subconsciously they're treating their parents' impending death like a delayed winning lottery ticket. It is an invisible safety net. They think, well, Dad's got that property, so if things get really bad, I will be fine eventually. This destroys your ambition. It spikes your dopamine with a false sense of security. You are essentially borrowing mental peace from a future that might not even exist. What if the market crashes? What if Dad needs a heart transplant and a decade of private nursing? What if they get scammed online? I've seen it 100 times. The kid waits, the kid coasts, the parents die, the estate goes to probate, turns out there were massive hidden deaths, the house has a reverse mortgage on it, and suddenly the 45-year-old kid is standing there with a useless degree, a dead-end job, and $0. You have to mentally murder the inheritance. You have to wake up tomorrow and assume it is gone. Assume it is zero. Assume the state took it, or your parents spent it all on a luxury cruise. If you operate from a baseline of absolute zero, you are forced to build your own wealth. And if the money does eventually come, great, it's a bonus. It's a cherry on top of a cake you already baked yourself. But you cannot bake the cake with someone else's flour. Which leads to the final secret, the invisible trust fund. You want to know how the ultra-wealthy really transfer power? It's not just wiring money, it's paying for the direct expenses of the next generation. There's a massive loophole in the tax code for education and medical expenses. If your parents write a check directly to your kid's university, it does not count toward the gift tax limit. It doesn't count toward anything. They can drop $50,000 a year on tuition, completely off the books. They are bypassing you entirely, transferring wealth directly to the third generation and ensuring that your children start their adult lives with zero student loan debt. Do you know what it does to a 22-year-old's trajectory when they enter the workforce, making $60,000 a year, and they don't have to pay $800 a month to Sally Mae? They buy a house at 25. They invest at 26. They are millionaires by 40. That is the generational cascade. The middle class talks about money like it is a dirty secret. You are probably terrified to sit down with your parents and say, hey, what happens when you die? It feels greedy. It feels morbid. So you say nothing, and they say nothing. And then a crisis hits on a random Tuesday, and everyone panics, and the lawyers and the hospitals drain the accounts in 6 months. You have to stop operating in survival mode. You have to step up and act like a CEO managing a family enterprise, because that is what your family is. It is an economic unit competing against inflation, taxation, and the healthcare industry. You need to sit down with them this week. Ask about the trust. Ask about the medical directives. Explain the step up in basis. You're not asking for their money. You are protecting their legacy from a system that is mathematically designed to steal it. There's an old saying that goes, a society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in. But let me update that for the modern economy. A family becomes wealthy when the older generation plants the capital early enough for the younger generation to actually harvest the compound interest. Don't wait until it's too late. The clock is ticking. I'm Heisenbunk. See you on the next one.